How's it going there, guys? Welcome back to the inside of my car. And in this drive, I'm going to use it as an opportunity to tell you guys a little bit about myself and what I've done to support myself while I've done this whole YouTube thing. But also, I want to tell you guys a story that happened to me today. And that'll lead me into discussing what I'm going to title this video: what the heck do conspiracy theorists even do for society? So to begin this conversation today, I want to tell you how I've supported myself while doing this YouTube channel, because that's a question that I've gotten quite a bit, right? People are saying, how the heck do you do this thing, devote yourself to building your Destroying the Illusion brand with no corporate job? And that's let some people even believe that I'm some like intel agency asset that gets paid money to do this thing, or gets money from some corporation under the table, or people are coming up with all these crazy theories. So I just want to address that. One thing that I've done, or I should say primarily in the beginning, because of course this YouTube thing is now finally beginning to get me a return after doing it for a few months, but especially in the beginning, what I did to support myself was health coach, personal train. So I actually had my own business doing that to support myself while I was doing the YouTube channel. But of course lately, with the success that I'm beginning to have, I don't need to, nor have the time to health coach as much anymore, but I still have actually just one client that I health coach, and I go train him in his home. So I go meet him in his house, train him every week, and that's it. So that's an answer to a question a lot of people have had. But now that leads me into what happened today. So with this client that I train, I went to meet him today, and it's kind of funny with this gentleman because he's a very sweet guy. He's a super nice guy, but his brain, we could say, is a little caught up in fantasy land. Every single time I go over to his place, he's got CNN or some kind of corporate media on. It's sad to see, but I'm just there to health coach him. So I'm happy to be able to at least get him healthier, get him moving, and I just stay detached from talking politics with him or getting into any of that. I basically live a double life with this guy. It's pretty hilarious. And I'm telling you guys that here. And I've always wondered, what if he just found my YouTube channel one day and, he would shit bricks, let me tell you. But anyway, I try to avoid talking any kind of politics or current events or whatnot with him, because I just don't want to get into that conversation. So for months now, he's totally thought that all I do is personal train and health coach, and we've kind of left it at that. And whenever politics does come up, because he's a very heated guy, he's a passionate guy, right? Very passionate. He wants the world to be a better place, like many other people. He just doesn't realize how corrupted. He doesn't get the real world. So I just don't talk to that with him. But today it came up, right? Today it came up, and he got real heated. And I always, when it begins to surface, like if like vaccines or fluoride will come up in the conversation, has a couple times, I stay detached. I go, it makes sense that fluoride's toxic or vaccines aren't really all that great. And then he goes into what we call what's been termed as the Agent Smith, right? Like Agent Smith in the Matrix. Whenever you start poking or prodding somebody that's still got their mind caught up in fantasy land with the truth, then they turn into Agent Smith, right? They're there to defend the Matrix. They automatically shift, and they start spitting the corporate narratives and the stat quo, and you see that. You know what I'm talking about in people when they go into Agent Smith mode. Happens all the time when you just start questioning the narratives in front of them, and they need to defend it. They need to defend it, and then it's just, anyway, that's what started happening. And he got super heated. I just tried to stay detached, but of course I just want the guy to understand things so bad, just like I want everybody to understand things. But like when I'm there training him and he starts going off with his own propaganda that he's been molded with, I try my best. And today, what had happened is it divulged into the Russia thing, right? That's usually what comes out of everybody's mouths. It turns into Agent Smith. It's Russia. Darn Russians. Gotta get them there Russians, right? And I made a comment, and I said, you know, we were talking conspiracy theories, and he was fucking livid. He was like, those damn conspiracy theorists just sitting in their basements, and I don't even know where they get all this information and all that stuff. So I'm there, keeping my mouth shut, right? Because little does he know who he's talking to about conspiracy theories. But anyway, he just gets pissed off, thinking that conspiracy theorists are just turning everything to shit. And I made a comment, and I'm like, you know, I think the real conspiracy theory is this Russia investigation. Because it's been a year, and there's been no evidence, right? You think if it was this long, and if they had any kind of smoking gun against this administration or anybody in politics about Russia, it would come out by now. He knows I don't like Clinton and Podesta and all that jazz. And every time I mention that, he scoffs, of course. He won't listen to my information that darn conspiracies. But anyway, I mentioned that, right? Ooh, he starts getting real mad. He starts saying that, those freaking conspiracy theorists. He starts going off as to what the heck have conspiracy theorists done for society. And that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. You know, finally 7 minutes in. But I want to discuss that. What exactly have conspiracy theorists done for society? Because of everybody who's stuck in the stat quo mindset, who have their brain stuck in fantasy land, they believe that conspiracy theorists are just what, like he was saying, sitting in their mother's basement. You know, they're making this world a terrible place, spitting their whatever the heck they're coming up with, however they're coming up with it. And you know, it actually is the case that conspiracy theorists, in my opinion, they're the ones doing God's work, right? Just look at the term conspiracy. Many people know by now that literal word conspiracy was concocted, I don't know when, sometime in the 60s, I believe, by the intel agencies themselves to label anybody telling the truth as crazy. Ridicule them, right? It's become an amazingly effective buzzword. It's especially parroted by the corporate media to ridicule anybody questioning the narratives, right? So, understanding that, the word conspiracy itself, you know, has just been used to make fun of people, and the actual literal term of conspiracy just simply means a plot between two or more people to defraud and collude and perpetrate more corruption. It's what needs to be exposed, right? So conspiracy theorists are the only ones pretty much connecting the damn dots together. And it's not like only a handful of people are sitting in their mother's basement being conspiracy theorists. I mean, it's getting to a point where lots of people are freaking conspiracy theorists. So many people are beginning to question the narratives these days that it's freaking amazing to see. Like, I just got this haircut, right? Hope you guys like it. But I just got my haircut, and it gave me faith in humanity again, because I was talking to the hairdresser, and she was questioning the narrative. She mentioned GMOs, and she said, yeah, I don't like vaccines either. And I'm like, hell yeah. I actually gave her one of my cards, one of my Destroying the Illusion cards, because I figured she could handle it. We'll see. I'll go back in there for a haircut in about 4 to 6 weeks and see what she thinks. But anyway, you know, my point being, I'm getting lots of people are waking the heck up. There's a few people that aren't, but a lot of people are. So lots of people are conspiracy theorists these days, right? And they're the ones that are bringing down the House of Cards, because they're simply questioning. And they're the ones doing God's work. But how are they actually benefiting society? And that's the meat of the question that I want to get to, okay? I kind of went on a tangent of, well, everybody's a conspiracy theorist, and what actually does that word even mean? But I want to discuss what those darn conspiracy theorists are actually doing for society, and they're doing so much. Understand The war that's being fought right now, it's not a war that we're putting on boots and donning M16s for, right? It's not a physical war that we're in, it's a mental war, because that's exactly how they're controlling the world. It's just through our brains, folks. It's through our consciousness. And I'm a big studier of esotericism, esoteric philosophy, especially the Hermetic wisdom, cosmic law, right? And in Hermetic wisdom, it states that all is mind. Everything is mind. Even this physical reality in which we live stems from our consciousness. So, perception is everything. And if you simply work on people's brains, right? If you're one of those conspiracy theorists that's sharing information with people in whatever avenue, whether you're doing it to thousands of people on YouTube like I am, or you're ranting on Facebook, great. Or you have a blog, or you just simply try to seed people's consciousness in your day-to-day activities. If you're getting your hair cut, shoot, try to mention a couple things to this person. Maybe get to wake them up a little bit, right? That's exactly how we change the world. Simply through people's brains, people's consciousness, seeding people, getting information out there at whatever cost, by any means necessary, right? By just simply doing that, we're going to change the world. Simply getting it into people's brains, for instance, that cures for cancer exist. Well, shit, people are then going to do the research for themselves. Oh my God, they're going to understand, wow, cures for cancer actually exist. They've been suppressed for a long time, but they are a reality. And then they're going to actually make the effort to say, get somebody with cancer to do the alternative method. And that right there directly takes the power out of the pharmaceutical company's hands, right? It's all through the mind. Simply sharing information on vaccines is going to get new parents to reject the poison for their kids. And less people are pumped full of toxins. People's brains begin to work better. More money gets taken out of the pharmaceutical industry's hands. Boom, right there. The world has changed. So that's it. People think that it takes all this effort and all this activism to start changing the world. They think that they're one little human that can't do anything. But that's not the case at all. All it takes is a little bit of information sharing, and you're going to empower people to start making better decisions and vote with their choices, vote with their actions, and people are going to start to get it and start doing that. Okay? So that's how conspiracy theorists change the world. All you and I do, I should say, is just need to share information. I am passionate as shit, and I have my, eyes set on such a big picture that I'm devoting my life to sharing information to try to help people. That's just me. Maybe you do that. Maybe you devote yourself to full-time activism. Fantastic. We need more people to do that. But if you can't, maybe you're still stuck in a situation where you have to work a 9-to-5, 40-hour-a-week job. Do what you can. That's just as important as what I'm doing, right? Full-time. Just as important, And never underestimate the power of planting a seed into someone's mind. Whatever it is, whether it's about pharmaceuticals, health, whether it's about free energy, right? There's a point. We have so many, millions of kids these days who are getting brainwashed into the conventional way of thinking that they're not even going to have it in their belief systems that free energy could be possible, right? Sorry, my room ran out on my phone, so I had to delete some videos, and you'll got to cut this back in. But anyway, my point being, we have these millions of kids. If they were taught that these things are possible, 0-point energy and anti-gravity propulsion, then we would have millions of kids that would be researching it and using their creative abilities to invent and research and develop, right? And that brings me to, it makes me think of about a week ago, I was talking to my little boy and he was playing with his airplane, and I'm like, planes don't need wings to fly. And he was like, what? I'm like, yeah, we actually have craft that just utilize electricity to fly. And his mind was blown. And what I'm trying to do with him is frame his belief systems, frame his perceptions into seeing that anything is possible. All kinds of things are possible, right? We have a full system. Our whole education and media and the whole system these days is built to make people think that there's so much that isn't possible when it is. So, in conclusion, enough ranting. I'm home now. Never underestimate the power of getting people to think new thoughts, to think in ways that'll help build a new paradigm. And that's exactly what conspiracy theorists are doing to save the world. Done.